we all have our guilty pleasures. How you define a guilty pleasure is mostly subjective. You can pretty much apply that to anything that you like or love and everyone else seems to hate. I don't pretty much use it that way because I loved Man of Steel and I loved Batman vs Superman, and those films got torn to shreds by critics, but I don't consider them bad films at all. They're films I defend. To me, a guilty pleasure is liking something that you know is bad. You can't defend it. You just have to accept the fact that that's a bad film, but you just like it for whatever reason, and there can be a degree of so bad it's good. There are various guilty pleasures under that category online. There's The Room, there's the Wicker Man remake, there's The Happening, there's Edward movies, Michael Bay movies, and Showgirls. So yeah, those films are pretty much defined as guilty pleasure films because they are, because they're bad, but they're entertainingly bad, and you pretty much like them because they are bad, but they are bad. And to me, my ultimate guilty pleasure film is the Resident Evil franchise. Which one? All six of them. Yes, all six of these guilty films are my ultimate guilty pleasure. I have pretty much stuck with these films for pretty much 10 years, always looking forward to the next one, and knowing that each one is going to be so bad, and I'm going to love it anyway. And I don't know why so much. I mean, maybe it's because of, I guess you could go for the obvious. The action movies, fun action movies, starring a beautiful woman fighting monsters and zombies. That's pretty much all six of those films in a nutshell. This woman is fighting zombies, monsters, and this evil high-tech sci-fi facility known as the Umbrella, all looking beautiful while she has a female ally. Yeah. But I'm going to talk about pretty much what I love so much and why this film was clearly so successful that it managed to get 6 entries. Because that's a big achievement. A whole film series, 6 entries, and the 6th entry is the last film because they declare it that's their subtitle. It's called the final chapter. So it was clearly. So it wasn't a film series that was cancelled. It had a clearly defined final film. I know it's debatable because of how it ended, whether it is actually the final film, but to me it is, at least. But and this is one of those film series that I have a very hard time getting a clear consensus on, because this series is loved and loathed by the game fans. I'm not a gamer myself. I've never played a Resident Evil game once in my life. And I know there are various fans that like these movies. There are fans that hate these movies because apparently they don't follow the game series. Which I know that the films follow a character that does not exist in the games. The main character is Alice. She doesn't exist in the games anymore. She was purely created for the films. And I know there are characters in these films from the games, but they're not fleshed out at all. I guess that's why they don't like these films at all, because their favourite characters are in there, but they just don't flesh out. They're there to serve Alex's character, basically. And I can understand that, but even then, like I said, there are game fans that actually do defend these films as well. And there are people who love some of these films, but they hate the others. There are people who started off hating these films and liked some of the later entries. I went through various lists on Google and YouTube. I cannot find one list at all that agrees with what order from best to worst these films rank. Every single one of these films had a number 1 spot on a list that I found, and every single one of them had a number 6 spot. So to find the absolute best of this franchise and find the absolute worst of this franchise is very hard to find. And I can see why people have different opinions on each of them because, in ways, they all have that same formula about, Alice is fighting zombies and the Umbrella Corporation, but they all have a different sort of style applied to them, a different location, different sort of look. So it's all a matter of preference. I'll talk a little bit about each one of them briefly. I have the box set for the first three here. Very cool box set, isn't it? Got the different looks for Alice's in the first three films. So the first one, second, and third. Yeah. How cool is that? Yeah. So yeah, first film that we have is it's just Resident Evil. This our character Alice, she starts off as this blank slate. She has no memory of what happened to her, and she's in this mansion, and she's suddenly been arrested by these soldiers who take her on this secret underground hive underneath this mansion, and then they discover there's this viral outbreak. People are dying, they're becoming zombies, and there's this artificial intelligence known as the Red Queen, trying to contain that virus and pretty much killing anyone if they need to in order for this virus to break out. I'd say out of all these, he's probably the most horror out of all of them, because it has the most suspense. And I use this word suspense very loosely because all these films are pretty much suspense as a kick to the head. But it does play out like the mystery, like keeps you guessing what's about to happen. And of course it's set underground as well, so it does offer a claustrophobic environment. The second film is Resident Evil Apocalypse. This one pretty much disregards the horror and suspense part and cranks up the action. It's set in a city, so we've got various big locations to go from, like a church and a school, and you've got vehicles like a motorbike and a helicopter. So that's it. And then this next one is Resident Evil Extinction. There's a big time gap between the second and third film. In this one, the virus is now spread completely worldwide, so pretty much half the population is now gone. And this is set in a desert as well, so it's kind of got a bit of Mad Max sort of feel to it. And then this one, Resident Evil Afterlife, this one has various different locations. We start off in Japan, where we see one of the Umbrella facilities, and then we head to Alaska, then we head to this prison, like sort of in the middle of this city, and then onto this large ship. And this one, Resident Evil Retribution, this one is set in the Umbrella facility, and we have very loads of different locations, all set in the Umbrella facility with various sort of simulations different locations. So we've got like a suburbia, we've got Japan again, we've got various different simulations underneath, underground, and then this one is probably the most gritty out of all of them. Now this one's set in ruins of Washington DC, and then sort of back to the city, which is pretty much not longer there anymore from the second film, then back into the hive from the first film. And we see that, and of course it's set 10 years after the first film, so it's all different now. We've gone back to similar locations, but they're all completely different. So we're giving those little tidbits. You can see that there's a different sort of look and feel for each one of them. I guess that's why it's very hard to decide which one's best. It's because it really does depend on preference. And yes, what I like about this, I like that it's I like that this is a female-led franchise. Alice is the main character. She's played by Milla Jovovich. I love Milla Jovovich. We all remember her as Lilu from The Fifth Element. And I like quite a lot in this. Her character is I know people kind of compare her to a Mary Sue. That doesn't bother me at all because there are plenty of strong female characters out there, all complex. This is not the type of franchise for complex characters. at all. Alice is more like a skin for the audience to wear, and so when she's in this following this action, and well, so like she also has always has a female ally. She has some male allies as well, but her main ally is always female. In the first one, we have Rain, who played by Michelle Rodriguez, and I love Michelle Rodriguez. We all remember her from the Fast and Furious films, and I remember her from Lost as well. And I quite like her a lot because she kind of, in a lot of ways, she does kind of represent what Alice is about to become, like this badass sort of tough woman. Because in the first one, she kind of starts off sort of vulnerable and stuff, and then she kind of, so I think that's what Rain sort of represents, like this badass that she's about to become. And then second film we have Jill Valentine, played by Sienna Guillory. There's an interesting comparison to her as well, because we have her in the second film and she's also in the fifth film as well, and she plays two different roles. In the second film, she's the main ally. She's she's like this cop, and she's been like suspended from working, but she's still working on her own. She's like this tough, independent woman. And then in the fifth film, she's she's captured by Umbrella, and she's under control of them. She's pretty much like a soldier for Umbrella, but under mind control. What's funny about this is that in the second film, Jill is a brunette, and in the fifth film, she's blonde. And that's an interesting comparison to Alice, because when she starts off, she's a blonde in the first film, and in each film, her hair gets darker and darker, so she's pretty much a brunette for the second half of this franchise. I feel like the way that's kind of, in a way, representing her independence. She starts off as almost like property of Umbrella, because she did work for Umbrella before it sort of started. And then as the movies go on, she's become more and more independent and less of an Umbrella property. Unlike Jill, who started off independent, now she became property of Umbrella. And then the third film, we have Claire Redfield, played by Ali Larter. She's the most frequent of all the allies. She's there for the third, fourth, and sixth film. The best way I can describe a relationship is that they're equals. They're kind of like, when you look at Milla Jovovich and Ali Larter together, they're like sisters. They could actually play sisters in films. And I feel like that's what Claire is. She's like Alice's equal. And in the fourth film, Claire suffers memory loss, just like Alice did in the first film. So they can, and you can see like they are there, like they put in their faith in each other, these two women, and they become stronger because of each other, I feel. And I'm glad that Claire became the most frequent ally, because I think Ali Larter and Jovovich just have that right chemistry, and I think I wouldn't actually mind seeing Ali Larter's Claire in a spin-off, because I think she could handle a film on her own. There's another ally in the fifth film, Ada Wong, and I couldn't really find much comparison between her, other than she wears a sexy red dress just like Alice did in the first film. But honestly, there really wasn't much to Ada's character. I think she was just there for fan service, really, because I think there really wasn't much to her character. There are some male allies as well that I quite liked as well. Like I liked Carlos. He was in the second and third film. He was played by Oded Fehr, and he's also in the fifth film as well, as this. He kind of does serve a bit of a love interest for Alice, but it's done very naturally. It's not, the romance is only sort of hinted at, really. But the fifth film does actually offer a bit of an alternate reality, where they're kind of a married couple, which I liked, because they do have Milla Jovovich and Oded Fehr do have nice chemistry. But yeah, it's not a dating franchise at all. That's the only hint of romance we ever get in this franchise. There's also Chris Redfield, who's Claire Redfield's brother in the 4th film, and I would have liked to see more of him as well, but they kind of disregarded him and Claire from the 5th film, so they put more game characters in, like there's Leon, just like Ada, he's just there for fan service. There's nothing to him at all, I didn't feel. But, and yeah, so, there's very how I rank each of these films is kind of it's pretty difficult. I'd probably say Retribution is probably the weakest. But even then, I can't hate it. But the only real thing is this doesn't feel like I say this probably is one that makes the least sense. And it's like it's not really much. I don't think it really continues much, but this is more like an alternate reality than a continuation. We see Alice in this Umbrella City. One of the main bad guys, Wesker. He from what we saw of him in the previous film, and even later on, then in the last film, he's intent on destroying the world, just destroying humanity, and the Red Queen's motivation in the first film was to preserve life. She's killing these characters so she can save it. Now it seems like here the roles are reversed. Red Queen, this one, now wants to destroy the world, and Wesker now wants to save the world. Yeah, and then of course you've got characters playing different roles. Like I said, I already said that Jill Valentine plays a sort of villainous role in this one, and the other characters from the first 2 films who helped Alice out are now villains in this one as evil clones. Like I said, we even see like an alternate reality of Alice as a suburban mother of her. And yet, so it's very weird. It's like probably the most trippy out of all of them, because you just don't. It's like a whole big what if story. Yeah. But in terms of the others, it's very hard to. I'd say right now, just because it's fresh in my mind, I'd say Final Chapter is awesome. But like I said, it's very hard to. I say Afterlife is probably the most visually stunning out of all of them. I loved the Tokyo setting, and I loved Alaska, and I liked the fight scenes as well. But yeah, actually, it's when there are so many plot holes in these films. I tell you, when you try and watch them, when you watch them all in order, it's very hard to keep up with where the plots go and how they explain things, because they seem to contradict each other. And when you take into account, they all have the same writer. They're all written by Paul W. S. Anderson, and yeah, it's very hard to decide. Wonder how he came up, how he's the same writer for each one, because he seems to contradict a lot. But I remember in various interviews, he and Milla have said that they make each film independently. This isn't the whole franchise is not planned out as a whole. They work on each film individually, which is, I respect that. Actually, I do respect that a lot. What makes it hard though is because it's that they don't seem to go back and understand how they come up with explanations. They kind of realise they didn't seem to forget that they kind of already explained it anyway, and then they kind of contradict things. Also, they end each film on a cliffhanger as well. So you pretty much have to watch the next film to get some resolution to how each film ended, because there's no ending to each one of them. But yeah, because they say that it make each film independently, it kind of suggests they don't actually plan out the next film until they finish this one. So I think they just throw in a cliffhanger, then have to think about how they're going to resolve this before they start their new story. Yeah. So this is not supposed to be super complex or anything. Though this is just supposed to be entertainment, and this is why I love these films so much. They are entertaining. They're set out to entertain you first and make you think second, or maybe not even make you think at all. But yeah, to me this is it's like McDonald's in a way. We know McDonald's is bad for you, we know that there are much better places out there that do much better burgers and chips. But you know what? We eat at McDonald's anyway because we enjoy it, and it's you get what you pay for it. And this, I get what I pay for out of all 6 of these films. And so, you know, I'm enjoying it for what they are. I'm enjoying Milla Jovovich and her female ally kicking zombies' ass, kicking monsters, various locations, ridiculous sci-fi, mumbo jumbo, bad one-liners, there's over-the-top action scenes. And all 6 of these films deliver those for me, and I'm happy to say, happy that I stuck for this franchise from the start and kept my faith in it. You know, I expected bad films, and they are bad films, and I love them for it. And do I want to see this franchise continue? Probably not. Like I said, they called the 6th film the final chapter for a reason. Even though it sort of does end sort of open-ended, you know, it still has an ending, I feel, and I think it ends right where it should be. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy this movie for what they are. Guilty pleasures. These lovely films, bits, and I even have this poster that I got from Comic-Con. Yeah, that's on a stone wall, and like I said, love these films, what they are. You know, tell me what your guilty pleasure is, why you consider them bad films, and why do you love them anyway. Yes, guilty pleasures, we need these. This is my guilty pleasure.